Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Connections and Directions, our University of Michigan Civil and Environmental Engineering podcast. My name is Michelle Santillan, and I am the CEE Marketing Communications Specialist and host of this series. During our podcasts, we are featuring members of our CEE community and how their work reflects our mission of engineers in service to society. We will be highlighting our strategic directions and our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. CEE's 5 strategic directions are human habitat experience, shaping resource flows, adaptation, automation, and smart infrastructure finance. I'm here with Maddie McLean, an undergraduate student finishing her sophomore year in civil engineering. Welcome, Maddie, and thank you for being here today.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about the department.
How do you see yourself participating in CEE's strategic directions?
I would really enjoy being part of any of sort of the sub-teams that were mentioned, whether it was adaptation, automation, or I was really interested in the shaping of research flows or resource flows. But I think it's super important to be a part of any of those sub-teams just because they're working to ensure that future generations and communities have solutions that meet both the needs of the community but also the needs of the environment.
And how does our mission of being engineers in service to society resonate with you?
The mission resonates with me because I really want to make a positive impact on society through my career. I want to work to create solutions and implement solutions that both serve society's needs but also take into account the impacts that those solutions may have on the environment. We're in a climate crisis right now, and it's just necessary to take responsibility for what our advancements in technology can have an effect on the environment, and just how to balance that out with just moving forward in infrastructure, but also designing infrastructure that doesn't make our climate crisis worse, but better.
And how do you envision yourself becoming an engineer in service to society and making that contribution that you just talked about?
I can really envision myself becoming an engineer who works to just better the environment and society cohesively. Again, we're in a crisis where it's necessary to consider the environment when expanding infrastructure or designing more advanced technologies. I don't know much about it yet, but I really want to go into green infrastructure. My grandparent has a friend. Her daughter is working for a CEO of a company out east, and I don't remember the name of it. But I really want to potentially intern with them next year. So I'm really excited to get into that. But that's sort of how I want to become like an engineer in service to society. Just really consider society's needs and formulate solutions that both meet society's needs as well as the climate crisis now.
So in addition to the company that you mentioned and the connection with your grandparent, knowing someone who works at a company like that, is there anything else in your schooling or maybe in your childhood that inspired you to think in this way?
I think so. I went to a small private school, like pre-K through middle school, that really not only did our teachers just help us appreciate our environment and what we have, but also almost our lessons were kind of incorporated and just you're learning the needed curriculum, but also you're doing it while enjoying nature and just being present. And I think that has really helped me understand that it is actually really awesome to live that way, and living that way is not only fun, but it's necessary to how we need to live in the future, just cohesively with the environment and the needs of what society, our problems. But so.
And as you're talking about cohesive society, DEI plays an important role in that as well. How do you see DEI embodied in our department?
Yeah, I think I declared this past semester actually, so I just became a member of this department, and I've really, really enjoyed it because the community is just extremely inclusive and super supportive. As a woman in STEM, I feel like extremely valued in this community, and I feel that I have equal opportunity. And also just the fact that there's so much like representation in this department. Like I would say over half of my classmates are women, and that's really important to me just because I feel like I belong there. Not that I'm saying I wouldn't belong in any other department, but just for me, that's really important to just see other women doing awesome things that align with both what I'm interested in and just help me expand my perspective on this department and what I want to do in the future. So, yeah.
And you mentioned being part of the community, and you're
Mm-hmm.
also participating in the Pelham Scholars Program
Yeah.
as an undergrad. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. I actually just joined, so I finished my second meeting on Tuesday. So I haven't done much with the program yet, but I'm really excited because I can foresee that participating in the Pelham Scholar Program, it will help me become way more confident as a woman in engineering and just help me develop connections with students, professors, organizations that share my value of DEI. And I hope that the program will also allow me to just be a leader in the department and a role model for future women in STEM. I had a lot of great female teachers in high school and middle school in like science and math, and that was so formative for me and my experience. Is like, wow, like if they can do it, I can do it too, and that really inspired me to like just dive into a career in engineering when I wasn't, like it's going to be really fun. So
And that's excellent. And on that note, then how did you select coming to the University of Michigan's CEE department versus another college when you were in the process of selecting, a university to attend at the end of high school?
yeah, I chose Michigan. Well, one, it's close to home, and that's really nice for me just because I have a little sister, and obviously I still want to be part of her life, and I love my family. My twin sister actually goes to MSU, so we kind of have a little family rivalry going on right now. But another reason, or the main reasons why I chose Michigan was because of just its rigor and excellent engineering program. I also really loved the campus. Ann Arbor is obviously way larger than Traverse City, but similar in the way it's set up. So it felt super homey to me. I didn't really go on an official tour at all due to COVID. But what really helped me choose was just like the stats on paper. Like it was a great engineering school. The campus was awesome. I really felt like I had to work to get here, and that's really important to me because I feel like all the hard work in high school paid off. And also, the reason why I chose specifically the CE department was I had before I declared, I was in the CE 200 introduction course, and I met some really great people in there, and I loved the way that the professor described what exactly civil engineering is in a really short way. She just essentially said, anything you can see from a bird's eye view is what we do. And that was just really inspiring to me. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like, I want to be a part of everything. And infrastructure is, I don't know, the design process it seems very interesting to me. So that's another reason why I chose. And now that I did choose this department, I'm super happy with my decision. Before I came to Michigan, I was often told how competitive the engineering department is. And in CE, yes, it's extremely challenging, but I have never felt like competitive with my peers. I have felt supported, and it's so inclusive, and I've met some of my very best friends this year. So that's been awesome. And also just the small class sizes. I've really established great relationships with my teachers, and I think that's really important to me just as I go further in my career, specifically just with research, or if they have any internship opportunities that they think would really work best for my interests, just because they have been able to get to know me and I've been able to get to know them. So.
Do you belong to any student organizations other than your participation in Pelham Scholars?
Last year I was actually on the track team, but it did not work with my schedule this year. So unfortunately, I did choose engineering over running, which to me wasn't really a question. But so I wasn't super involved in much freshman year, but this year I wanted to join a project team. So currently I'm on Blue Lab Metro, specifically the sub-team canopy covers, which originally focused on more like tree plantings to help UMich reach its carbon neutrality goals. But currently we're working on creating this project that essentially repurposes the ground underneath our solar farm on North Campus. And it seems like it's going to be pretty extensive. Hopefully we can get at least some of it started or done. We're communicating with grounds right now, but again, I think it just connects to what exactly like civil engineers and environmental engineers are trying to do, is just show that we can live a different way. And yes, it might change how we formulate solutions, but it doesn't mean that's going to be worse, and actually could be better, because I did a little research on just agriculture under solar panels, and oftentimes it can even like increase yield of crops. It can decrease the amount of water used, just because the shade decreases evaporation rates in really sunny climates. So I don't know, just doing that project here, and hopefully we only have 4 people in our sub team, and we just spoke with a landscape architect, and so it might not be possible for just us 4 to do it, but I just think it was, even if it doesn't get too far off the ground, hopefully it will, but it was just a really exciting project to just think about and like understand, okay, we could approach it this direction, we could turn it into wetland, we could just increase the health of the soil, because that also sequesters carbon. So understanding just how many different solutions we can go about fighting this climate crisis was, again, I was like, this, like the CE department is where I want to be. Like, I'm super interested in the topics that we're talking about and we're working to try to fix. So yeah, those are a lot of reasons, but very happy with my decision.
That's excellent. And you talked about your involvement, in this additional group. If you had a pearl of wisdom to share with a prospective student considering the University of Michigan and CEE, what would that message be?
I would definitely say, do not be afraid to reach out to your classmates and make friends with your classmates and work together with other people. I think that has been very helpful for me, just to this is a really challenging course load, and just having a supportive group has made it so much more fun and attainable for me. I was a straight A student in high school, and coming here, it was like, wow, this is really, really hard. And just having a support group that you can work with on homework assignments, you can study with, or just hang out after you finish a stressful week, has definitely changed my college experience. I think freshman year, I had a really tough time transitioning from a solo studier to like, hey, like it's okay to reach out and get help when you need it. And I am so much happier this year, and it's just been awesome. And again, like most of the time, those study people are going to be your best friends. So,
well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to our podcast conversation. For more information about CEE at Michigan, please visit our website at cee.umich.edu. You can also reach our YouTube channel and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn pages from our website.